At this time, I'd like to call our regular town council meeting to order on Tuesday, October 21st at 6:30 p.m. Yvonne, would you do a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mayor Gray Leonard.
Here.
Vice Mayor Robert Greenland.
Here.
Councilwoman Lenny Richardson. Here. Councilwoman Brandy Pierson.
Here.
Town Attorney Scott Simpson.
Here.
Town Planner Mark Corrett.
Here.
And Ryan and I are present, and the Volusia County Sheriff is present.
Very good. Lenny, would you please lead us in an invocation?
Gladly, sir. Let us pray. Dear God, I come to you again tonight with great thanks for our precious community. I ask that you continually bless and protect all our citizens and all that may pass through her. Tonight, dear Lord, I ask a special blessing for Councilman Jimmy Anderson, that he has a speedy recovery. Dear Lord, I ask you to please continue to bless this council, our employees, and anyone involved with the inner workings of our great town. And I ask these things in your great name. Amen.
Amen. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, our first item on the agenda tonight is the approval of the minutes for the regular meeting on October the 7th, 2025. Has everyone had an opportunity to look at these minutes and look over them?
Yes.
Are there any changes or deletions or additions anybody want to make? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion made to approve the minutes by Vice Mayor Robert Greenland. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Lenny Richardson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So carried. Moving on to our new business. The first item is item number 5A. It's a proclamation we've been asked to read. It's the Domestic Abuse Awareness Month. October is that. And if I could possibly get our attorney to read this proclamation, it would be greatly appreciated.
Proclamation, Domestic Abuse Awareness Month. Whereas the Domestic Abuse Council of Volusia County, also known as the DAC, is the only certified domestic abuse organization in the county and has been a steadfast advocate for individuals and families affected by domestic violence, providing essential resources, support, and education to help break the cycle of abuse since 1976. Whereas domestic violence affects individuals of all races, ages, genders, and socioeconomic backgrounds, and continues to be a serious public health and safety issue, not only harming the victims but also affecting the entire community. Whereas in Florida, the rate of reported domestic violence offenses is significant, and for Volusia County, this represents a serious burden highlighting the need for increased awareness and services as it ranks fourth in the state in incidence. And whereas the Domestic Abuse Council of Volusia County is committed to offering safe shelter for survivors and works in partnership with Volusia County Social Services, the Volusia Sheriff's Office, municipal law enforcement agencies, and advocates to prevent violence and promote healthy relationships throughout the county. Whereas it is critical that we as a community join together in the fight against domestic violence, committing to raise awareness, educate others, and support those who are suffering in silence. Whereas we acknowledge the resilience and courage of survivors of domestic violence and stand in solidarity with them, pledging our collective efforts to reduce and ultimately eliminate domestic abuse in Volusia County. Whereas the work of the Domestic Abuse Council is made possible through the commitment of volunteers, community partners, law enforcement agencies, and countless others who combined efforts create a stronger, safer Volusia County for all. Okay.
Now therefore, I, Gray Leonard, Mayor of the Town of Pierson, do hereby proclaim October as Domestic Abuse Awareness Month in Volusia County, and encourage all citizens to join together in supporting survivors of domestic violence, recognizing the invaluable work of the Domestic Abuse Council, and committing to making our community free from abuse. Let us all stand united in the pursuit of justice, healing, and prevention of domestic violence in all its forms, so that all families in Volusia County can live safely at home. And I'll sign that proclamation. All right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Scott.
Sure. Thank you, Scott.
All right, moving on, next item on the agenda would be item 5B, and this is an ordinance number 2025-14. This will be conducted as a public hearing, and this is, do we have a problem? Okay.
I was wondering.
This will be the second. If you don't interrupt us, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ordinance 2025-14, this is the public hearing, this is the second reading. I want to turn this ordinance over to our attorney, Scott Simpson.
Ordinance number 2025-14, by title only for second and final reading. And this is a public hearing. An ordinance of the town of Pierson, Florida, providing for the rezoning of real property totaling 6.1 acres owned by the town of Pierson, bearing the parcel ID 4834-05000050, located at the northwest corner of the intersection of West First Avenue and U.S. Highway 17, Center Street, from A1 Agricultural District to the PDC Plan Development Commercial District, establishing a town center development order, providing for the taking of implementing administrative actions, providing for the adoption of a map for the rezoning, providing for implementing administrative actions, repealing all conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, providing for non-codification, and providing for an effective date.
Does everybody understand that?
I'm
That's
thinking
been
that's
read?
this property, correct?
That's the town center property, rezoning it to be what it should have been originally. Is there any discussion here at the board? Any of you guys?
I have none.
Does anybody in the audience have any questions they'd like to ask
Yes,
about this
ma'am.
ordinance?
Yes, ma'am.
Step up.
Yes, I married Johnson. I've been all my life. On that same place, y'all, I squared against Becky Morgan. I want to ask, is water taxes going to go up?
This doesn't have anything to do with that. This is not the appropriate time to do
What
that.
the agenda today?
If you want to ask that, if you will come in and get put on the agenda, we'd be happy to talk to you about it.
What are we doing today?
On the
Please.
paper.
It's on that paper. It's item number 5B. Doesn't have anything to do with water.
No. What's it got to do with the grant and stuff? Why can't we make something for homeless people?
I'm going to have to ask you to sit down.
Yes, sir. I got 2 minutes, and my 2 minutes up.
I'm going to have to
Respect
ask you
you,
to sit
Mayor.
down. Thank you.
Respect you, man. Been all my life, Chipper Jones off. You don't tell me any kind of way.
Is there anybody else that has anything they'd like to
Respect
add
me
to
too.
this?
Johnson, respect me too.
Being no other public comment,
Yes.
I would entertain a motion
Move
on
to
this item.
approve ordinance 2025-14.
There's been a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Lenny R. Richardson to approve ordinance 2025-14
No, yes.
as read, and let this be known, this is the second and final reading of this
Did I do
ordinance.
anything wrong?
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland. Yvonne, would you please do a roll call vote?
Let me listen to you.
Councilwoman Brandy Peterson, Councilwoman Lenny Richardson,
Yes?
Is that wrong?
Vice Mayor Robert Greenland,
Yes.
Mayor Gray Leonard.
Yes. Let the record show there was a roll call vote for ordinance 2025-14 on its second and final reading, and it was approved by a unanimous roll call vote. Thank you, guys. That's the end of the public hearing on this item. We're going to move on now to the rest of our agenda. Item number 5C is scoreboards at Chipper Jones Park ball fields. Is there anybody here from the Northwest Volusia Little League to discuss this?
They sent an email.
They sent an email saying, "Good afternoon, due to the practices and games, I may not have a representation to attend the evening regarding the scoreboards. Can you please ask the council to let us know if they approve us getting scoreboards replaced at no cost to the town? We just want permission to do so." That's all I got.
How do you guys feel about that? It's open for discussion.
I don't have a problem at all.
I have no problem.
I don't have any problems or any issues with that. If they want to replace the scoreboards at their cost, then that can be their prerogative. And what I would ask them to do is maybe bring us in a photograph or something about what the scoreboards are going to look like before they put them up. I mean, would you guys like to kind of see what they're going to be before they do that?
I'm sure it'd be something similar to what's there.
It's probably similar to what's
If
there.
it's
just the ones that
similar
are
to what's there, it's a standard scoreboard, I don't have a problem with it. I just,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm
Everybody's
good.
good?
All right. Let the record show that everybody on the council is for that.
Do we need to make a motion to that?
We can do that.
I make a motion to allow the Northwest Volusia Little League to replace scoreboards at Chipper Jones Park
And no cost to the
at
town.
no cost to the council, or the town, I'm sorry.
That would include you.
Okay. Let the record show there's been a motion made by Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland to approve the Northwest Volusia Little League to put new scoreboards at the Chipper Jones Ball Field Parks at no cost to the town. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is carried. So they can put up some new school boards. Next item on the agenda is item number 5D, proposed pickleball courts, and I'm going to ask Ms. Mary Kay Hanson, she'd like to speak to us on that issue. So come on up and fill us in, Mary Kay.
Okay, well, I don't have a lot of information, but... Hello, my name's Mary Kay Hanson, 367 East Washington. I wanted to address the council with the North Road Park, the tennis court that's there, I would like to see if we could make it into a pickleball court. And there's only one tennis court there, so it would take away the tennis court and make it into a pickleball court, which we have, several people that are interested in pickleball, but I don't know how much the tennis court is being utilized. So my husband would paint the lines for the new pickleball court, only one, and at no cost to the town, but we would need a net. So I think he said there's portable nets that can go up, so I'll have him get a price on that too. I just want to know if it's something that you would be okay with if we were to do this?
I don't think they use those tennis courts
I've
at
never
all.
seen-
And when
I mean, I know
we
the
had
park's
been-
closed a lot due to water.
Yeah, it's very
so.
wet there. And we had been proposed about a year ago about pickleball courts, but at Chipper Jones Park where
Right.
there's nothing, but these. I'm-
Exist, yes.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
okay
just-
with painting
Yeah, I don't have a
them
problem
to
with it at all.
pickleball.
I don't have a problem with converting that tennis court to a pickleball court. But I can't recall ever seeing anybody play tennis
I
there.
can't either.
And if we can make it into a pickleball court and get some use out of it,
Yeah,
I think it would be a benefit to the people in the town that like to play pickleball.
Yeah.
Since nobody's using it for tennis or anything else. So
yeah, okay. So I can have him start doing his thing?
I don't,
I have no problem.
I don't have a problem with it at all.
Well,
Ryan, you got a comment?
Yeah, first we need a price on the nets. I
Yeah.
mean, are they expensive, are they not expensive? Do we,
Yeah.
don't have any idea?
Right, I can get that
But yeah,
information.
so if you can get us those prices and a quote and then come back, but as far as the actual part of doing it,
Yeah,
I don't think it's a problem.
The part that's paved out in back, that's county owned, isn't it? We don't own that piece, do we? It's a shame that we can't put them right here, though.
Up here?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of right there by the gym.
Right behind here.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
It's for sale. Or it's going up for
We
sale.
can't afford it.
But that,
I know what they're asking
I
for.
think that's currently school board property, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
Yeah, I thought it was, I just thought I'd bring it up, but no,
Okay.
I
So
think
I
that's a
need-
great idea.
The county is trying to buy that, Bobby.
Pardon me?
The county is trying to buy that. And if they do buy it, they probably will keep some recreational element
Yep.
there
So
to
that's good.
attach it to
Yep.
the library.
Playground and the.
Do we have any idea when that might happen?
They're in
They're
discussions.
negotiating, yeah. I think it was a lot more money than, I think they want 370 something for it. So they're probably in talks with the school board to see if they can
If you
get a
can,
better deal on it.
if you can get us some numbers on the cost of that net, since Chris is willing to paint the court, and then bring that back to us.
Okay. All right.
Put the quote on
But I don't think we have a problem with actually doing it.
Hey, Yvonne and Mark, or Ryan, we had that form, that volunteer form, that he could just fill out. That's kind of like a volunteer form to fill out.
Yeah, just fill out that volunteer form when he's gonna do that. Thank you, Mary Kay.
Thanks, Mary Kay.
All right, next item on the agenda, moving ahead, is item number 5E. I'm going to turn this over to our town planner, Mark Correttis, airport management proposal.
Okay, so in your agenda is a proposed RFP for management of the airport. If you recall, it seems like every couple of years there's a discussion about the airport and its future. Earlier this year, there was some discussion about whether the airport should be kept open or closed. I think a decision was made that at least for this year, that the airport would remain open and in operation. And we were directed to put together an RFP. So this is something that's been exchanged between myself, Scott, and Ryan and Don for input. What this RFP will do, if you recall in the discussion, we heard from people in the local aviation community, the airport is a valuable asset. There's a number of individuals who would be willing to come in and operate the airport and perhaps provide some revenue to the town of Pierson. So this would be an effort to find out if that's really the case. What you have in front of you is the results of that effort. Now, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't find very many examples of airports such as ours that went out for RFP and somebody came to manage it. People simply don't put out these types of airports that are, grassed, very little activity. Because they don't generate much revenue, they don't get very much response. So this very much is sort of a gobbledygook or Frankenstein monster from other RFPs of much more active airports. But obviously, if somebody's going to do something with this and generate revenue, we're going to have to give them an opportunity to essentially develop the airport. So the RFP that's in front of you, a lot of language about maintenance of the airport and what they have to do and how they have to basically take over all the operations and all responsibility for the airport, be the liaison with the FAA, but then also they have an obligation to present their ideas for how they would turn the airport into something that would be revenue neutral to you guys or maybe even profitable. Basically, it's casting a broad net and seeing if there really are people out there.
See if anyone's interested, right?
Those will be brought back to you guys, and then you have an opportunity to approve it. The RFP, it doesn't talk about a specific arrangement, but the proposers would have the ability to put together a suggestion as to, what that arrangement would be. Would they be leasing the airport? Would they be doing it as some sort of operational agreement? So that's left up to the proposers to put together, whatever their ideas would be for the operation of the airport. You've had an opportunity to review. And
Where's this proposal going to be displayed or posted or wherever, so people can have access?
You guys use a demand star, so it'll go out.
Okay.
Fairly broadly, I think you can, when you put something out in Demand Store, you get an opportunity to select the type of industries or individuals that you're interested in. I don't, you guys don't have to pay anything for this, is that
Right, we didn't pay anything.
so it's people who are proposing, who are interested in these sort of things, pay a certain amount of money, based on the number of different types of industries they're interested in. So,
But we also have all of the email addresses from all of the aviation people who have reached out to us for 6 months. So there's nothing wrong with sending that out in an email and
Directly
saying,
to,
we're making
yeah.
this RFP available. If you're serious
Right.
about this,
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Submit a proposal.
That's what I was going to
Yeah.
ask, because I got this email from this guy, Doug Yo, Y-E-O. He had expressed some interest in something like that at one point in time.
There was the woman in Jacksonville who was a member of whatever that aviation organization is that, she had gotten wind that we were thinking about closing it, and she had sent me a thing about there's funds available and there's people that can help you. So, I mean, if she's very well connected in the southeast region and this airport is so important, she can blast that out to everybody in that organization that's
Exactly.
involved. So,
Exactly.
if you take a look at our RFP, you'll see that, this really won't be, it's not geared towards hobbyists. It's not going to be a group of people who, currently use the airports and
Right.
kind of decide, hey, let's put this together. It's pitched towards people who are in this industry and have some experience with it, what they're doing. And whoever is successful, obviously, will be maintaining airports, will have to put up insurance and all that sort of stuff. Once they're selected. In addition, any plans they come up in terms of, who knows what people might propose, but I would suspect that they're going to, we've heard this discussion before, so they might want to develop hangars, fuel, all, whatever their plan is, they will have to bring it back to you guys.
Right.
All right.
So
This gets the ball rolling, so to speak.
all we're authorizing tonight is the
Issuance of it.
If they come back in, you don't like any of them, you can reject them.
Right. Okay.
Do we want to set a date and time we're putting this out, or do we want to review it first? I mean, how do y'all want to handle that?
Do what now?
Like, how do we want to handle, or are we going to go ahead and vote on a date and time to put this RFP out?
Well, we had already voted and decided that we were going to keep it open for a year, right? When is that time expire?
I think it expires in May.
I was going to say it's sometime in the
I
spring.
think around the 1st of
Yeah,
May.
first of spring,
I think it's
yeah.
the 1st of May. But
So
I-
that'll give 6 months
But I still think we
approximately.
can go ahead and
Yes,
vote on this
go ahead.
tonight
yes, and
get the
send it out
proposal
there.
out there.
Yes, absolutely.
So we should put a time frame on, I would suggest, at a minimum 30 days, 30, 45 days to.
Do we want to wait and put it out on the new year?
I'd get it out as soon as
January.
possible.
Yeah,
I think we need to go ahead and get the proposal out as soon as we can.
I think one of two things. I think you either want to get it out as soon as you can, or you want to wait till January. You don't want to put it out, the week of Thanksgiving. You don't want to put it out.
I'm just afraid if you give them a 6-month lead time on it, they might lose interest by the time the 6
I would not
months.
give a 6-month lead time. I would give a 40, I would give, a minimum of 30 to, 45 or 60-day deadline to have the RFPs back.
Right, right.
When is the first
So if we send them
meeting?
out now, they would have to be back
By the first of the
January.
They
year.
have to be back in the
Yeah.
Yeah,
January.
like, when would be
Give them 60 days.
give them till the
First of the year.
first meeting in January.
Yes.
Something along those lines. And that would give them,
But then they'd have to wait 4 months before they actually took over the airport, correct?
I mean, we're going to have to negotiate with them and all that sort of stuff. So
Right.
I don't with CDOT.
Well, we don't have a current contract with anybody, so why would they have to wait?
Well, because we said we would keep it open for a year. So if that's what we voted, 12 months, then, you know.
They can change that.
Yeah, that's,
We do have tenants out there still. Not many, but we have a couple.
We have two tenants, I believe, correct?
I'm sure that wouldn't interfere with
So I've
anything.
given the deadline in time for you to be able to put the stuff on the agenda.
The next January is the
But
6th.
I think we need to get this out
I think so.
as soon as we can,
I do
to
too.
see if we can get some interest in it.
With 30 days, or 60 days, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, I would entertain a motion to get this RFP out for the public view. On what was the site we were going to post it on?
Demand Star.
Demand Star?
Demand Star. And go ahead and try to get it out there as soon as we can.
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor to have this RFP for the Pierson Airport placed out on Demand Star as soon as possible, which would be when?
Probably next week sometime.
Okay. The first part of next week. Is there a second?
Second.
The motion is made and seconded to get this Pierson Airport RFP out as soon as possible, which would probably be sometime next week. Yvonne, would you do a roll call vote on this proposal, please?
Yes, sir. Councilwoman Brandy Peterson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lenny Richardson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robert Greenland?
Yes.
Mayor Gray Leonard?
Yes, but the record shows a roll call vote to get the RFP posted on the Pierson Airport sometime next week, and it was carried by unanimous roll call vote.
And the goal is to have it back to y'all for the first meeting in January?
Yes, by the first meeting in January, if we can get it.
So that we can get it to them. January 6th would be the first meeting. Wouldn't you want it back like on the 1st so that it can be prepped and brought to y'all?
I would say
Because if
by,
they bring it back the first meeting, you aren't going to get it till the following meeting.
I would say by the 2nd, January the 2nd.
The second meeting,
Friday. Huh?
the second meeting.
No, he's saying the 2nd of January.
Have this back to us by January the 2nd.
So if we get everything by Friday, January 2nd, we can have it on the agenda for Tuesday,
The 6th.
the 6th. Okay.
Anybody else want any more discussion on this?
Nope.
All right. Moving on to item number 5F, I'm going to turn this over to Town Attorney Scott Simpson. It's a sleep ordinance discussion.
This was a copy of an ordinance that I did for Lake Helen. It was just to comply, I think we talked about last meeting, comply with state law that cities are not allowed to authorize or otherwise allow any person to regularly engage in public camping or sleeping on any public property. We're not allowed to do that. So in Lake Helen and in Holly Hill, we adopted an ordinance that just basically recited state law. Says we don't authorize it. And so, but, you know, the out here is regularly. That's the weakness in the statute. I don't know what regularly engage in public. Is it 2 times? Or is it, the law doesn't really define it. The language later about the stepped progressive discipline really kind of came out of a court case. It used to be that it was deemed cruel and unusual punishment to arrest people for being homeless on public property if you did not have adequate homeless beds for your homeless population. So you had to do that analysis to make sure you had adequate homeless beds to take them to before you started arresting people for being homeless on public property, whether it's for trespass or whatever the case may be. And then there was a change in that law that said, no, it's not a violation of the 8th Amendment of cruel and unusual punishment, as long as you kind of implement it in a step progressive way. And so and I kind of copied that out of the court case. So we talked about it last meeting. This is something that we adopted in Holly Hill and Lake Helen, just really to comply with the law, to make sure we're in compliance with the law, that we can say, look, we don't authorize it. And so, and the information regarding homeless shelters, that references about handing out to people, obviously there's the First Step Shelter that is it's a separate entity, kind of run by Daytona Beach a little bit. There may be other organizations that we can get information from. The sheriff may have information that they can hand out to people who are homeless. And that's what just the kind of the step progress of discipline you do before you get to the point of just going right out and arresting somebody for trespassing. So, I don't know, I've not been informed of, have we ever had to enforce this in Holly Hill or Lake Helen? I think it was only adopted last fall, about a year ago. So I don't know how the enforcement's going or anything like that.
I've got a question regarding this, because I know some of those rodeo people camp overnight when their rodeo's going on, and that's a public park.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to do anything to jeopardize that. Those people got to stay there in their trailers, in their
I don't
horse
think
trailers.
I don't think
Is that what this is?
no. I don't
Well,
think
we can make sure it doesn't include that.
I wouldn't think those people are actually, those aren't really homeless people. They're there providing
This
service.
is just in regards to homeless people?
Not, you don't, basically what the law says is we cannot authorize or otherwise allow any person to regularly engage in public camping or sleeping on public property.
Regularly.
Yeah, the regularly is the key
I
thing
got you,
there.
yeah.
But not
Okay.
limited to public buildings on its grounds or any public right-of-ways
Yeah.
under the jurisdiction of the city. I can certainly add, if y'all wanted to consider this as an ordinance, this does not,
No, the regularly,
I think that would
the
cover
regularly
that.
makes it,
so it's not regular, we're just
This only
allowing
happens,
events.
this only
Right.
happens for a couple nights a week, once a year, when they're
right,
putting on an event.
that's why I'm saying the regularly takes care of that.
I think what the state was trying to
Aspect.
get at is, there are jurisdictions who have vacant land where homeless camps set up. And they just let them, they don't do any enforcement against these homeless camps. They just let them grow on public property. You can't do anything about the private property unless the
Right.
private property owner asks. But I think it was the state's way of trying to crack down on city, or encourage cities and counties not to turn a blind eye to your property that's under your jurisdiction, under your ownership, and you're just letting people sleep there, homeless people camping there all the time, and not doing anything to rectify it. So that was kind of the goal. What I can do, if you want to bring back, I can also print out and give to the city, so it's on, or town, on the next agenda, the copy of the state law that's referenced in here, so you can see the law that was adopted by the state legislature.
Ryan, do you have a question?
Yeah, Scott, could you just add the word unauthorized camping on public property? In other words,
Well-
if we gave a special permit to the rodeo or whoever to allow them to
Well,
stay in
it
the
starts,
trailer?
I don't know how that would be worded. The city does not authorize
Oh,
or
okay.
otherwise allow unauthorized.
So it's already in there.
If you got authorized, unauthorized, so we can't allow someone, I think the regularly is the issue. Would allow it. But I'll see if there's some language in the state law, if I could tweak it a little bit. I tried to take it verbatim right out of state law, so there was no interpretation by me of what the law said.
So I'm just going to throw this out there. Scott and I had talked about this a little bit. We passed a trespassing ordinance last year with Christian. That I don't think got advertised properly for the second read. So just to cover us, I think we're going to issue it a new ordinance number and run it back through a first and second read and make sure it's advertised properly. So they kind of go hand in hand, so maybe we'll bring them back for first read at the same time at the next meeting, and then we can advertise them together. But just so you're aware, I mean, Sammy, when he was here, he said, I don't think we had time to advertise it, and he was right. And Yvonne and I weren't aware that we had to advertise every ordinance, so, and then Christian left, so we couldn't ask Christian. So, just to be safe, even though we technically have it, everyone voted for it. There is no advertisement for it, so we'll bring them both back with a new, an updated ordinance number.
Okay. That'll work.
I think that probably needs to be done to make sure it's correct. Anybody else have any more discussion on this? Is anybody in the audience that has any questions about this time? This is kind of the beginning of something. All right. Moving on to item number 5G, it's speed bumps on 3rd Avenue, and I want to turn this over to Council Member Brandy Pierson.
Several weeks ago, I was contacted by a citizen, said they had went down 3rd Avenue, East 3rd Avenue, and about knocked his head off when he hit a speed bump in front of a house. I had Public Works go remove it, and they just removed it and throwed it back in the people's yard. They didn't take it. It's back there again.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if they can legally do that. I don't think they can. They can't obstruct a roadway. It's a public roadway. I'm not saying that maybe the speed bump's not needed. I'm just saying that the residents can't put the speed bump in the road.
They can't, I don't think they can do it on their own. Scott, what is your?
I think I looked at that last meeting, because it was rectified at the last meeting.
Yes, it had
more
happened
into it,
that.
But I think I came across something that says you cannot obstruct or any way block or impede public right-of-ways. I thought I saw that in the law. Maybe the sheriff's, maybe.
My question is, what am I supposed to just have Public Works remove the speed bump every time they put it out there? I mean, how do we handle that, I guess is my question.
I think it does need to be removed by the town staff, and then we need to notify, if we know who the property owner is that's doing that, we ought to send them a letter saying, you need to come in and talk to us, what you're doing is unlawful. You cannot do this, and we would like to sit down and talk to you about seeing what your needs are, what are you trying to accomplish. Maybe we can work together on this, but if you continue to put out these unauthorized speed bumps, then you're subject to arrest or whatever the penalty is.
Can they dispose of the material and take it off the roadway?
That's why I told them to leave it, because I didn't want them to take somebody's property.
Yeah, I think it's good to leave it there or bring it back, not throw it away. Bring it back
Correct.
here and put it somewhere where
Okay.
the owner of it can come get it, and I wouldn't destroy it.
Yeah.
I think that would be the best thing, in my opinion, if we take it off of there, is to bring it back to the work barn or some location where we can store it and let them know. We'll let them know where it's at, send them a letter and explain why we took it.
Okay.
I've seen speed bumps on public roads, so.
Well, yeah.
Why can't we have a speed bump on that road?
You
Oh, we can't, but this guy's just putting it out there on his own.
You can have one. The town can put one on their own regular road, but
It needs to be designed to, some safe engineering standard.
Yeah, you're gonna need like signage and stuff like that.
Well,
so you don't.
that was my question. I think all you gotta do is put a sign up, right? To inform people that's coming on it, there's a speed bump up ahead of the road?
Speed bump ahead. But it has,
I think it's a decision for y'all to make, not for a citizen to make.
Correct.
I understand.
Y'all vote to put a speed bump in, it will be put in compliance with the law to the design specification with the notice requirements. Not just somebody going out, you don't want somebody out throwing out speed stop sticks or whatever to slow people down. You want to make sure we're doing it and following the law. And there's laws on that. You can't obstruct or interfere with.
I think if you're going to put a speed bump on a public street, it has to be one that meets the
Well, that's what I was saying.
FDOT or the state.
That's why
federal standards for
I would
speed
say
bumps.
come in and meet with staff so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
if the goal of the commission, or council here is to do it, then staff can get a price, and this is how much it would cost, and where's the best place to put it, that type of stuff. There may be regulations on where they can go. I would assume there's got to be regulations on the speed of the road. You couldn't put it
The
that
design
on.
of speed bump varies, right? If you
Yeah.
have something that's very slow, obviously you can put kind of a small kind of speed
Right.
bump. If you're traveling 25 miles an hour, the speed bump's designed differently.
I just read an article today that Palm Coast in January is going to start doing the speed dampening or whatever their term for it is. Yeah, so their thing is the way they do it is a resident has to come in and ask for one, and then the city reaches out to all the residents on that street, and it has to be unanimous that they all want it. And then if they want it, it has to meet certain classifications. So in other words, the speed limit has to be 25 or below. They won't do it 30 or higher. In Palm Coast, they require that there be 8,000 cars down at a day, which we would never have here. But they basically set those standards. They did the traffic study and all this. But the way that's done is instead of the town making that decision or one resident making that decision, the resident asks, and then the town reaches out to everybody, and they have them like mail in a ballot. For us, it's a small enough town, you could probably just go door to door and get a
But that's
consensus.
smart, because
Right.
that relieves the town or the city from liability. Right?
I mean, it definitely, I think if it's unanimous, then, there's no surprises to residents, because, you may have one person on every street that wants a speed bump, but if 50 other people say, I don't think this is necessary, it is, I will say, we've looked into some of that, and for the town to do it, it will be pricey.
Yeah, no.
But if it's a continuous problem, I mean, we do have problems with speeders on
All over town.
First Avenue, Second Avenue, Third Avenue.
Extra Road, so
Right.
forth and so on. It goes
I think
on
the
and
main
on.
problem we have there is during the hours that school is getting out primarily. And I know that we see it on Second Avenue, and I'm sure we see it on Blake Street, and Frederick Street we see it on, and then Frederick goes around right on the Third Avenue where we're talking about now.
They're trying to beat traffic getting out of the school.
I believe
They're doing.
yes, sir, you had a question.
Lester Pulley, 363 North Pine Street. I would think if the resident is putting an unauthorized obstruction in the road, if he causes any damage or injuries, he's going to be liable. I know if I hit it with my truck and it causes damage, I'm going to contact my insurance company, and they're probably going to be contacting him. So you might want to let him know he's making himself liable.
But because it's a public road, they'll also sue us, just FYI.
Correct, of course.
So just looking it up, it said Florida Statute 316.2045, obstruction of public streets, highways, roads. A person may not willfully obstruct the free, convenient, and normal use of a public street, highway, road by impeding, hindering, stifling, retarding, or restraining traffic or passage thereon, standing on or remaining in the street, highway, or road, or endangering the safe movement of vehicles or pedestrians traveling thereon. A person who violates paragraph A shall be cited for a pedestrian violation punishable as provided in chapter 318. I'm not sure what that is.
So
So there is a law that says you're not supposed to do
what's a
that.
clear-cut violation of the statute?
If you put it out there, I think it's pretty willful.
Yeah.
And what was that statute number again?
It is 316.2045.
2045?
Yeah, 2045.
2.045.
2045.
And that's all I had on that. I'll get with the clerk
But
and have
I think
a letter written.
do we know who the resident is that's putting it out?
Yes.
We do, okay.
It needs to be notified.
They need to be notified, maybe reference this statute.
Correct.
And ask them to come in and talk, and, we can evaluate whether that's a good idea that the town should consider.
And I understand why.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I agree too.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are gonna, Yvonne, you guys are gonna reach out to him with a...
Yeah, I'll talk with Brandy tomorrow.
Okay, all right. Any other discussion on item number 5G? Moving on to item number 5H, we have a quote from the Volusia County Road and Bridge for continued storm repairs on North Road. And can we combine these? And also a quote from Volusia County Road and Bridge for removal of the culvert on East Washington Avenue.
I mean, either way, they're going to need separate motions,
Right.
so.
We need them, let's just keep them separate. So the first one is a quote from Volusia County Road and Bridge for continued storm repairs on North Road. And that is where the edge of North Road is washing away. It's, I think it's just west of where we had some culvert repaired recently.
Yes, it's not at the culvert.
No, it's just west of
Well,
West
but
Road.
it's
Go-
right there where
if
that
you-
water was rushing.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you go down North Road, you'll see some PVC
I saw
pipes.
it, I've
And
seen
it- and it's right to the edge of the pavement. If you run off of there, it's bad news.
yes.
So we have a quote from Volusia County Road and Bridges to fix that, and I believe the grand total for that is $14,742.17. So I'm gonna let you guys, any discussion on this, what's your feelings on it? I mean, I think, my personal belief is it needs to be fixed so somebody won't run off in it and cause them to be injured or tear their vehicle
Oh,
up.
it definitely has to be fixed, yeah. You can't have that hole right there at the shoulder of the road.
Okay,
sure.
I'd entertain a motion for approval for this repair work on Road Road. You
So
have
what are
something,
they-
Rick?
Rick Davis, 153 East Second Avenue. In that quote, I'm assuming they're telling us how they're going to repair it?
That was gonna be my question. What exactly are they what are they doing?
They're gonna have to rebuild the whole shoulder.
They're gonna have to rebuild that whole shoulder. They talked about,
Between both of those culverts, how much of the shoulder are we talking about? I
He
mean,
didn't give me a footage on it. I can ask him. I can email him back and ask him.
Are they
But
saying
basically,
what they're going
we-
to rebuild it with, if they're just going to pull the soil to it? That's definitely not a $15,000 bill.
Right. Yeah, that I don't know. He went out and looked at it after we had marked it out, so.
I don't know what materials they would use to fix it. I do not know that.
well, the only thing on here says fill dirt.
Yeah, that's the
So
only
that's
thing.
the only, material besides equipment to use, that's the only thing on there. Besides paying for all the equipment to use to do the job. But if we're just doing fill dirt, can our boys not take? Well, what's
Yeah,
causing the
'cause-
washout? I mean, I guess that's what we gotta figure out. I mean, is it, or was that,
According to the estimate total here, only $192.66 is material cost. So that's all that is field dirt. It's all they're gonna do there. And if it's not, if that's the case, then it's just gonna do it again next time we get it.
There's no doubt. Now, I mean, in all honesty, I could come up with a railroad type plan that would fix that problem, because the fill dirt's going to wash out. You're looking at, again, $15,000 with over $14,000 of that being labor and equipment.
Mhm.
I mean, it needs to be fixed, that's just,
Let's get with Lewis again.
Okay.
And give him our concerns with just the field dirt. Because it's,
I think it needs to be something
It's
that's
gotta
gonna be a
have
lot more permanent than just dirt.
something's gonna have to hold that dirt in there.
Exactly.
that's where the railroad.
That's where the railroad, right.
come in.
What do they
Okay.
use in their other culverts, like on County Road 3? Don't they use that rip
Rock.
wrap or
They're-
whatever they call it?
They've
Or
got, some of them,
or
they've
the
got
big
big
rock.
rock.
They use that rock, that's what they put around the culverts they replaced.
Well, that's why that one culvert from Rick was so expensive, because he's got concrete there.
yeah.
It's done,
He's got the retaining concrete
he's got,
retaining wall.
he's got retaining concrete, and he said, DOT requires you to do that.
The header and the
The
footer.
head,
thing.
yeah, the header and
Because
the,
if you don't put that there, the water will wash
Right.
out right around the end of the pipe.
right. So,
Okay, I move to table the quote pertaining to the North Road storm repairs until we can get more clarification from the county.
There's a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Lenny Richardson to table this price on the repair on North Road until we can speak to Lewis Trivett with Road and Bridges to get further clarification on how we want to do this. Is there a second?
second.
Motion is seconded by Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland. All those in favor of tabling this item, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Moving on to item number 5I. This is also a quote from Volusia County Road and Bridges for removal of the culvert on East Washington Avenue. That's the culvert adjacent to the new soccer field there at Taylor High School. And I think the plan on this was just to remove the culvert and fill it and repave it, right, Ryan?
Yes.
And not put another culvert in there?
So Lewis went out, we had a couple people go out. We were out there with Todd Bush of Zev Cohen, and FEMA came out. We've been out there with the school board. There's a manhole cover just inside the school board's property behind their fence. We got permission from the school board to go in there, open that manhole cover. There's an opening for a culvert or a pipe that goes south across Washington, but what looks like has happened, Lewis Trivet has since been out there with a camera crew. They can't even drive a camera down the culvert because it looks like it's maybe an old concrete culvert that has sunk over time and then filled up with sediment, and it's so bad that it doesn't even line up with the manhole box anymore. So sediment has washed into that. He said there's parts of that pipe that it's not even 5 inches from like the sediment that's filled it in the top. They couldn't even drive the car, little camera car, all the way through the culvert. But the school board and Lewis have both told us that that water does not flow from the school's property across Washington to the ditch on the south side of Washington. They claim it's for overflow from the south side of Washington onto the school's property, and then it used to go to an old retention pond on the school property. So the school claims that it's not there. In other words, their water's not flowing onto the Pierson side of anything. If that's the case, why not just remove the whole culvert, put base back down, and just repave that little strip of Washington Avenue? Because there's no sense in putting a culvert back there that's not, that ditch on the south side of Washington is like 6 foot at least deep. How high that water would have to get for it to actually flow onto the school property. And the other thing is, since they've built, this goes back to the old high school. Does any of that even exist anymore? In other words, if water did flow there, does that retention pond even exist anymore? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
There's a retention pond back there they built for all that concrete they poured back there.
And
All that
there's
parking deals?
there's a retention pond by the softball field back there.
But
as
remember,
well.
a long time ago, there used to be that retention pond right there in the parking lot where driver's ed was at the old school.
Yeah.
So is that where it used to go? Because, this culvert has been there for years and years. It's not
I
like
think
it's a
that
new
culvert,
thing.
that culvert there was probably put in, those manholes were probably put in maybe even back in the 60s.
Right.
When they first built the new high school, which is not even there anymore.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
So Lewis's thing is, we don't need the school board's permission to dig it up on our side of the fence, just cut it off. They're gonna have to, pull up a section of Washington this wide or whatever to get the old culvert out, and then rebuild the base, and then asphalt back over it. But that's probably the cheapest and easiest option that doesn't have to involve the school board. And again, if you involve the school board, their claim is going to be that now they're managing your wastewater, or your stormwater, I should say. Do we want to deal with that? I don't know.
Well, they're claiming that our stormwater runs onto them.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe
I
that
don't believe it either, but that's what
And I think
everyone
those
says.
manholes were first put in there years and years ago. That was to drain that water through Washington into that ditch and then away
Exactly.
from the school.
Exactly.
But if you open that manhole cover, there's a pipe that flows in from like the north, like up by the airport direction, to that manhole, and then there's a pipe that goes south across Washington, and then one that turns and goes east along the front right-of-way of the school. So it didn't just flow one direction, it also flowed, and to me, that one that's going east, that's that old retention pond that used to be at the old high school. So I don't even know if any of that works anymore, or if it's all, it could have all got clogged itself and on their
Possibly.
property, we don't know it.
Possibly.
But we're not really concerned with what's happening on their side of the fence.
Just a suggestion, and I don't know a whole lot about this, but we might be altering the flow of water, potentially, it sounds like. And it seems like there's a disagreement of whether or not school board properties flowing through this onto one way or our water's flowing on there. Do we have anything in writing from the school board saying that what they have represented, that this is, our water's coming on their property?
I'll have to go back and look because we've been dealing with this since last year.
Right. What I would suggest, maybe, do you have a good contact at the school board? That it's somebody that we could write a letter to and said, based on... No. Like, based on your representations, you believe our water city water is flowing onto school board property. We are proposing to do this project that's going to close off this culvert. If you have any objections to us doing that, please let us know within a certain number of days. And put the burden on them to come back and either, because what I'm worried about is we have another rain event and they're saying, oh, you blocked this, you did this work and now our property's flooding. And if we put it onto them and say, look, we told you we were going to do it. You told us in the past that, it was our water flooding you. So we're going to block it off. We told you we were going to block it off. We asked you if you had any objection. You had no objection. I'm just trying to prevent a defense. When they come back later and say, hey, you're flooding our property, we told you what we were going to do. Well in advance.
Doesn't Todd have somebody?
I'm sure we have correspondence.
I'm pretty sure we have emails from them.
From them that says that. Obviously, we didn't say we're going to cut it off.
But I just think that's the person I would say, look, this is what we're proposing to do. If you have any objections to us doing that, please let us know, because this is what we're going to do. If you think it's going to cause any flooding whatsoever to your property, please let us know.
The way that discussion came about is because we basically told the school, your water that flows onto our property, your culvert's collapsing, and we were basically asking, are you going to pay for this or cost share that with us? And that's what prompted the school to say, oh, it's not our water, it's your water.
Yeah.
That's fine. Now we're saying, we're going to go do this project, and whoever water's flowing through this ain't going to flow anymore. Once we block it off, there's no more water going to flow through here. So speak now, forever hold your peace. Don't come back a year from now after we have another hurricane season and they say, hey, you altered the flow of water and you caused our property to flood. Right. That's just a suggestion.
Ron Young.
Because I assume we don't have like some engineering analysis of the way the water flows?
No.
So
Didn't Todd do some work on that?
There was observation of which way the water was flowing.
Right.
And, we believe it was their water was flowing
through that culvert.
Yeah.
But it might just be because the way the sediment has settled, in that
Right,
system.
because it looks like the culvert has sunk. So in other words, if the culvert was at the grade it was supposed to be at, maybe water wouldn't flow through.
Well, I just want to put the burden on them.
Right.
To raise an objection. I just want us to be able to say, we advised you what we were going to do. We gave you time to respond, raise an objection, or raise any concerns. You didn't. We went ahead and did the project. So.
Okay.
All right, bearing that in mind, then I would entertain a motion to table this until we make that contact with the school board and get an answer from them.
So moved.
Or not. We don't, we can, they don't have to answer us.
I understand that, but until it's done.
But we just give them time. And if you want to approve this, but don't do it for 30 days or whatever the time frame, or whatever time you think we ought to give them to respond, that's fine too. I would just like to let them know we're doing this before we do it, to give them time to raise an objection, that's all.
I think we ought to give them time to respond before we approve the project.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I think we should.
You have a
I
question?
think that would protect us,
I believe so too.
If something were to...
Because I'd like to get something from them in writing saying, go for it or whatever.
One thing's for certain, the water's flowing somewhere, and it's going to stop. And when it stops, somebody's going to flood. So, that's
Mr.
probably
Mayor,
an
you have a
inevitable
question
result
in the
here.
audience.
Yes. The quote on this was $10,185.42.
And again, that's $9,000 worth of labor.
Yeah.
Worth of labor and
Yeah, the material
equipment
cost is only $294.
What I'm surprised is that's cheaper than the repair on North Road.
Yeah.
No. The repair on North Road.
Yes.
It is cheaper.
It is. It's
It is cheaper.
472.
It is cheaper.
Okay, I must have mine.
Yeah, it is cheaper.
I must have mine backwards, and I'm looking at them.
Either way, that's too.
At the bottom, it has asphalt.
It's too expensive either way,
Yeah.
for either one of them.
All right, so we're going to put a hold on this then until we hear back from school board.
And, yes.
So I made the motion, you need a
There's a
second?
motion made to table this quote until we hear back from the school board on this item. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Lena Richardson, seconded by Vice Mayor Robert F. Green. All those in favor of tabling this item, say aye.
Aye.
So carried. I think that's the best thing. Okay, item number 5J. It's a quote from Grime Stoppers to clean the wood paneling, the windows, tables, and floors in the cafeteria building here at the town center. And I'm going to turn that over to Deputy Clerk Ryan Smith.
All right, so I've been talking to Councilwoman Brandy Pierson. We've been talking about getting some other buildings on campus kind of ready for stuff. One of the things we've been asked by a lot of residents is, can we open the cafeteria for stuff? Can we do bingo? Can we do whatever, you know? Sort of like the Seville VIA does. You know, they invite speakers, they have little events. So we use the community center, but we thought about maybe doing something here in the cafeteria. Part of the concern was that the AC needed to be replaced, but I had Robbie Tollison from Heritage come out. It's only going to be about $1,500 worth of work to get those units running. So what we've kind of proposed is let's close the kitchen area off. Let's lock those doors because, you know, there's nothing in the kitchen. It's empty. And just use the actual cafeteria side where the kids used to sit. There's a stage in there. It's basically just a big empty room. So we said if you clean the floors, if you clean the wood paneling, maybe paint it a different color, replace the ceiling tiles, you could probably have that whole space ready for maybe $5,000. So the start there was Grime Stoppers. I reached out to them. You'll see on here it's 2,750 square feet. They would go in there, they would strip that floor, put the 3 layers of commercial wax back on it. They would do all the glass windows and doors inside and out, and then they would clean all that paneling in there for $1,700. Because we've used it to collect the donations for North Carolina last year, but other than that, the building has sat for 8 years, 9 years. So it's just really bad. And then there's some cosmetic stuff on the outside. Brandy and I looked at it today. It looks like maybe just the wood trim on like that upper thing or above the door is rotted, but it doesn't look like the wood underneath is maybe bad. So we were thinking, if anything, that's just cosmetic. You could replace the wood siding on the outside of that and paint it. But then we would have an actual room that we could rent out for whatever. Like DOT comes twice a year and they want to host stuff.
Yep.
It would give us just another alternative to the community center. You know, maybe if the vendor market's here and it's raining, they could, you know, they might want to use it. I don't know. There's a bunch of possibilities, but we just feel like we have this campus and we don't utilize a lot of it. So rather, you know, we talked about the rooms being rented out, but this, I think, might be more of like a multi-purpose space. So, but that's up to you guys. I mean, we've talked about having our Christmas party here instead of going out. We've talked about maybe having the League of Cities dinner in there because they're asking you guys to host again next year. Just, you know, one less building we have to sort
I
of
think we should
tackle.
get it ready. I do.
I think we need to get it cleaned up and get it ready so we can use it whenever we need to use it.
Right,
And
exactly.
utilize it. Whether it's maybe renting it out to a group or utilizing it for a town function or whatever. I mean, and I think the $1,700 cleaning price for that project is definitely within line. I mean,
It's pretty dirty.
Well, and hopefully that's just a one-time thing, because because, you
Right.
know, we did that with other rooms here before we rented them, you know, just to get it where it needed to be. And then it's just maintenance from
Yeah,
that.
once you get it squared away, then it's just gonna be like some routine maintenance. Like you
But we even talked, like today, you know, say you have the Christmas event here. Okay, so the auditorium's great when you're sitting here and you're watching something, but like, what if you wanted to like have food or something? You can't, there's nowhere in here to really have a bunch of people that could sit and talk.
Right.
So then you'd have something here on the town center property that you could utilize for stuff like that, so. But the boys will have to lock the cafeteria off from the kitchen because we don't want anyone messing with any of that stuff.
No, I think it's, we should do it. I do, and I don't know if the audience has anything to say about it.
Anybody out there want to do any input on that? I mean, we're wanting to get it cleaned up so we can actually start using it. It's been sitting there for a long time. Yes, Rick.
I have a question. What are the dimensions of the floor?
2,750 is what they measured approximately.
Length of
Oh, I didn't
I
measure
don't,
it.
it was like 50 feet wide by however long, I don't remember. I kind of stepped it off, Rick, to get that's how we kind of came up with this estimate.
50 by 50 would be 2,500.
70 feet longer?
50 by 50
It's
would be
probably
2,500.
longer because of the
It's
stage.
a little
if you
bit
include
longer
the
than it
stage.
is wide, but it's
Yeah.
approximately 45 to 50 feet wide.
It's just something going through my head on what the use, potential use. But,
It's a pretty big room.
I've got a
Yes.
survey of it in the office, so I can look it up tomorrow and just email it to you if you're curious to know. I can get you an approximate, yeah.
But I personally think we ought to go ahead and get the thing cleaned up and squared away so we can start using it. I mean,
I make a motion that we contract with Crime Stoppers Cleaning and Property Services to clean the cafeteria for an amount of $1,700.
motion on the floor by Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland to contract with Crime Stoppers Cleaning and Property Services Incorporated to clean up our cafeteria here at the town center for the amount of $1,700. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Brandy Pierson. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is carried. All right, we'll get that thing cleaned. Item number 5K. I'm going to turn this over to Ryan Smith, our deputy clerk. This is a notice of intent for advertisement for solid waste on the non-ad valorem assessment.
Yeah, so we've talked, you know, a couple times about if we want to put the garbage collection on the tax roll, there's this whole 17-step process you have to do. Two of the things that you have to do have to happen before January 1st. One of those is that you have to do this notice of intent for 4 consecutive weeks saying that you intend to do a non-ad valorem assessment. And then at the end of that time, you have a resolution passed at a council meeting. So this notice of intent would run for these 4 dates here at the bottom. And then on the first meeting in December, you'd pass the resolution that says, you know, we're considering this. It doesn't mean we have to do it, but this is a step we have to take if we do decide to do it. So I just wanted you to see it, the notice of intent, get an okay from you guys to run this, and then if we do, the first meeting in December, we'll pass the resolution that says, you know, we may exercise our right to put an assessment for the trash on the tax bill. So
I'm sure there'll be some public hearings on, in regards to that, won't there?
yes, but the first one, and that's what this is. This is advertising a public hearing on December 1st to get feedback on that.
You know, it's this is just advertising so you have the opportunity. And even if you adopt the resolution, that just creates the opportunity to do it next year.
Right.
Then you'll have to adopt a few ordinances, which will have public hearings to create the mechanism to do it. Then you'll have public hearings establishing the assessment too. So there are numerous public hearings between where we are right now and actually putting this on the tax bill.
This just gets it started too,
It gives us the
to
option.
give us the opportunity to do that.
Well, worded another way, if you don't do this, you can't consider it next year.
Right.
If you don't do this, you.
Yeah, this
it's
is
off
the
table
first step.
next
If we
year.
don't do it, then we can't talk about it.
Right, better way to think of it.
So you need us to approve this?
I don't think we do. I wanted to make sure there was no concerns before we did it. We've talked about doing it.
So you're okay, you're not approving anything, but you're okay with him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no
was
one
just
has any
making sure I didn't need
objections
to
to us doing it.
I don't think we need to do a vote on this. I think we just need to have.
I basically just wanted you guys to see it and know what it was.
Uniform agreement, that's what we need to do.
I don't have a problem.
All right, I think you need to go ahead and move forward.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to item number 5L, Town Christmas Dinner, Councilmember Brandy Pierson.
We have, Yvonne and Ryan have reached out several, we had brought it to their attention. We didn't want to do it maybe at Castaways, check some other options about where we wanted to have the Christmas dinner. I am going to suggest if we're going to, I guess maybe this probably should have been after the Christmas event discussion, because we're going to already have that cafeteria decorated, and we were thinking maybe we could just cater our Christmas dinner in-house in our cafeteria instead of going somewhere. Totally up to y'all. I'm just bringing it out there. Did you ever reach out? We did some research on the hibachi, where they come and do the hibachi in front of you and cook and stuff. That's just one of the options. All the places that she spoke to, can speak. Yvonne, go ahead.
Okay, all the places, like the River Grill, and then the other one that you gave me, I contacted like 3 or 4 of them, and basically, when you get above a group of 30 people, it is buffet style. You can't order what you want to eat. Everybody has to eat what you pick for the buffet.
Right.
And just, I discussed this with Gray, and I just know certain employees aren't going to be happy if they don't get to get their steak for their Christmas dinner. They voiced their opinion to us that they would like their steak. So we thought if we did something like Brandy had gone somewhere and somebody did the hibachi, they come and they do a whole show for you. You could have steak, chicken, shrimp, they do the whole, and it would just be a cool experience.
Sure, it would.
I haven't picked a date. I just was kind of leaving that open. We just didn't know what avenue to continue to look for restaurants to cater, or if you wanted to go somewhere. I was just giving you that option too, that maybe consider. We don't have to vote on it tonight, just consider where you would.
Well, I think, if y'all want to try having one catered here at the cafeteria and see how it goes. I mean, if we don't like it, we won't have to do it again. I'm fine with that. Like I said, I don't care anywhere you guys decide you want to go to eat, it's fine with me.
Probably next meeting, we'll have an official date of when to go.
That, and maybe we can come up with an estimated cost, what it would be to have it.
Well, we know the cost for the hibachi is like $50 a person, which is going to be just as cheap as going.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it would cost them, for them to come over here, is about 50
Per person, yeah.
Per person.
You have to have you have to spend a minimum of $600.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty reasonable myself.
I'm sure
Well, at
it's-
$50 at 30-some people, that's going to be,
Well, we'll be well over that.
we'll be well over.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Zebco and
And I'll get more information before the next meeting and give you.
That would be nice, though.
It would be pretty cool, I think, yeah.
Sorry, throwing you under the bus there, Mark.
Throwing you under.
I think it would be a kind of a
That would
fun
be-
thing to do
yeah, I
something
think
different,
it'd
to
be
have it here at
nice.
the cafeteria. Be able to
Well, in the
square
past,
away.
we've been in restaurants and we haven't even been able to sit together. I
Right.
mean, some of
Yeah.
us are over here and some of us are over here, so.
Well, I think it's a splendid idea. I think we ought to give it a try.
Mark was just about to announce to everybody that due to cutbacks, they couldn't.
Too late now.
Now he's been put on notice, so.
But that's all I had, so I'll
Okay.
bring more information back.
Thank you, Brandy.
All right.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 5M, Christmas event discussion, and again, I'm going to turn that over to Councilwoman Brandy Pierson.
Okay, my idea, Robin, and the Pierson and Kelly, the Pierson Community Association has in the past several years done the little Christmas event here for the town. There's no more Pierson Community Association, so it's up to the town of Pierson to do something here. And I want to do something for the entire town. My date is December 13th. I've spoke to the vendor market about participating. They're all for that. I'm going to ask that we reduce the vendor prices, give them a little discount for the December event to $10 to maybe get them some more people up here. I've also spoken to every church in this town, or a representative from every church, to be involved. We'll decorate in here. If the churches wanted to have some kind of Christmas sing or something, I've actually told a couple of them I would like them to work together to decide that. I don't want to put their Christmas play or sing or service together. They've all agreed to do that. I also have asked them to, I'm going to put together a workshop to get everybody on board of my ideas. I've spoken to Alvin Hagstrom, Shaw Lake, Joneses, and Greenland Ferneries, who are four of the bigger ones that do all of the garland making and shipping. I know they all do some part of it, but these are the ones that do the bigger. I have asked and spoken to them, and they are willing to do some photo type areas up here that can stay here through the holiday season, so you can bring your family up, not just the night of this, but throughout the holiday. And most all the decorations, we're going to try to leave up the lights and stuff through the holidays, where before they were limited of what they could do, but just trying to open it up for it to be a whole community event for one night.
What kind of ideas do you have on Christmas trees?
Meaning what kind of Christmas tree do we want, or where do we want?
What kind do you want, and where do we want to put them? Do we want one? Do we want two in here, one outside, or, I mean?
About 15, 20. Y'all think I'm playing. Y'all know Christmas is my favorite time of the year, and I usually have 5 in my own house.
Do you think we can get some folks to help us?
Yes.
Okay.
I've spoken, most of the people I've spoken to at the churches said that they would work together doing a little bit of something. I mean, if everybody does a little bit, it takes it off the town to have to foot the whole bill. One of my other suggestions that I've had, once we have a workshop, I want to plan a workshop for just the Christmas event.
Okay.
So that everybody can be on the same page and we don't have to pick through it at every meeting. My mind just left me.
Okay.
Oh, door decorating contest for all the doors out here to involve the community more. They can decorate a door, and we'll have contests for that. There's so many things I have on notepads. That's what I said. I was just wanting to know if we can have a Christmas event here December 13th from 3 to 8 is what they're asking me for the vendor people. You had mentioned maybe a Toys for Tot box out. There's unlimited options. I just want to get a workshop together to get everybody's ideas. I don't want it to just be mine. I want it to be everybody's.
I happen to have a mailbox that kids could put letters to Santa in.
Yes, I have that on letters to Santa on there too. And
if we do it early enough, like on the 13th, we could, unless we got a bazillion letters to Santa, we could probably send the kids back a little note saying, this is Santa, we got your note, blah, 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 whatever. I think that's what we try to do in the community station.
And even to the point where to go to the churches, if they don't want to do a sing and they want to do a game out here for the kids to play, some of them said they don't have a lot of youth anymore, I know that's a big thing right now, so just trying to get everybody involved.
Well,
more
I think
people, more.
That's a good idea, and go ahead and set a date for when you want to do your workshop, and I think most of us could probably try to be at it.
And it has to be a workshop because if more than one council is there, we have to have it a workshop to be able to speak So this is, we can't, anybody,
When do you think you're going to do that workshop?
within the next couple weeks, I would like to start
Yeah,
that.
we need to get on it, because Christmas is closing in.
And we also know that a lot of people that want to help and participate work, so it'll be an evening meeting.
And those people that might be here in the audience that want to help and participate in it, when we have that workshop, obviously you guys would probably be the best time for y'all to attend, and then we could
Get everybody's.
put all our heads together and get it done.
Brandy, in addition to like the churches, did you want to try to get, like maybe ask the library? I mean, I know that's
I did talk to the library girls Saturday, and just so everybody knows, they're having their grand opening Halloween. I don't know if they came and told y'all that.
Yeah, they're
But
doing
they
a
said
trunk or
that-
treat and, yeah.
Yes. They also said they would participate in it, and also Garden Club said they don't like to be at night, but they would figure something out. I spoke to Little League, they were still figuring it out. Lions Club said yes, and I have not spoken to Saddle Club, but I was gonna reach out to them as well.
Okay, good. Well, you set the date and the time for the workshop, and we'll do it.
Well, what works for, is there any specific date? I mean, has to be in the evening, sooner than later, because
Yeah,
it's
sooner
fixing to
than
get
later.
busy for,
Yeah.
so.
And not on a Wednesday, because that would interfere with church.
Church, yeah. Next Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, is that
Do
work?
we have planning and zoning on Tuesday?
We don't have any items.
Okay, just making sure, because we have planning and zoning usually the week after, so, no, we're good.
Next Monday is the 27th.
28th? Does 6:30 work for everybody? Is that,
Yes, ma'am. Kelly? Did you have something?
Monday would be better. if that's-
Monday would be better for you?
Yes, yes, sir.
Tuesday is better for me.
come on, Lester.
We'll make it happen.
But Amy can take Charlie to baseball, so.
Yeah, Monday. Monday's better for me, too.
Monday, the 27th?
Yes.
6:30,
That's 10/27. At what time? 6:30?
yeah.
Okay. So we're going to have a Christmas workshop, so everybody in the audience knows on
Give you enough
Wednesday,
time.
the 27th. I mean, excuse me, Monday, the 27th. I have Monday written there on why I
Yeah,
said Wednesday.
Wednesday's not good, right?
Monday, the 27th at 6:30 PM here at the Town Center. Anything else, Brandy, on that?
No, that's it, thank you.
Okay, moving on to item number 6A, updates and reports from the mayor. I have one thing that Brandy had touched on, and I just wanted to make an announcement that Pierson Library is to host our trick-or-treat open house from 2 to 5 p.m. on Friday, October the 31st. And reserve the right to come back, but that's the only update I have at this moment. Bobby, you have anything?
Just that, at their last meeting, I had told, spoken during the meeting, about the sidewalk up there at Shepherd Jones Park.
Yes.
My concrete man has been kind of out of pocket here the last couple of weeks. I spoke with him today, and he's out of town now, and he said as soon as he gets back in town, he'll give us a price on that.
That's the ones up there in front of Chipper Jones Park
Yeah.
on Washington.
Yeah, on Washington. So at our next meeting, I should have a price on that. And for those of y'all that haven't heard, I want to announce that Suzanne Harper passed away about noontime today.
No.
Yep.
And
So
also
keep the
Richard
Harper-
Yelvington.
Yeah, and
Yes,
Richard Yelvington passed away.
Sunday.
Richard Yelvington passed on Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, so keep those families in your thoughts and prayers. And that's all I have.
Okay. Lenny?
That floored me. So I mentioned at the last meeting, the light's not working at the cell phone tower on Hagstrom Road. Well, they're still not
Not working.
functioning. So I called back to Crown Business, I guess is who you contact again, and I said, look, y'all told me this has been out since September 9th, and that it should be rectified immediately. I said, here we go, and oh, yes, ma'am, he said, but a NOTAM's been sent out. No airplane's gonna hit that. I said, can you really guarantee me that no mom and pop and some little old tail dragger is... So anyhow, is there anybody else, Scott, that you think I could reach out to try to get this rectified?
May I interject on that before you, Scott, just a minute? I've also reached out to those folks, and I've contacted the Federal Communication Commission and some other people, and the first NOTAM on that tower was issued, I think, on September 23rd. So the FAA is very aware that it's out, and AT&T is aware that it's out, and why it hasn't been fixed, we'd have to find out from AT&T, but I don't know. They're aware of it for sure, Glennie. So you kind of got the same feedback I got. Everybody knows about it, but nobody's fixing it.
Correct.
I was just going to say FAA. That's who.
Pardon?
FAA would be the seem to have jurisdiction over it.
Okay.
But the FAA referred me to the Federal Communication Commission as well. And the FAA, there's been a NOTAM issued through the FAA regarding this tower. It was issued back on September the 23rd. It's been a month ago. And,
Yes, and they told me when I called originally, it had been reported on the 9th of
so
September.
it's been out for well over a month and a half almost. And there it is, nothing there.
Okay. Well, I'll reach out to FAA and FCC as well.
Okay.
Squeaky wheel, right?
Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
I may have a number for them.
Okay,
If I do, I'll give it to you
Okay.
after a meeting.
all right. That's all I have.
Councilwoman Brandy Peterson,
I have nothing.
nothing else.
Talked enough tonight.
Anybody in the audience have any comments they'd like to speak on? Mr. Pulley?
Lester Pulley, 363 North Pine Street. This may not matter, I don't know. I heard that the sidewalk that got crushed during the rodeo over there might have been from the fire department and not the rodeo driving the fire truck. I don't know if that matters or not.
Well, I don't know that it matters one way or the other, but I guess we're going to have to fix it.
That's going to have to be fixed, yeah.
And speaking of the Saddle Club, driving over the sidewalk, whether it's happening on the radio, I happened to be up at the arena, was it the day we rode up there, Donna, or was it Sunday? Yesterday. The Saddle Club left quite a few styrofoam containers scattered about up there. I'm assuming it was the Saddle Club, they were the last people to use it, and they were kind of scattered out over the whole property. So maybe if we could ask them to please make sure they police up after themselves.
And they're usually so good.
Yeah, that just surprised me when I saw that. But the styrofoam boxes were located in areas where they had their trailers parked. So who put them there, I don't know, but.
Okay. I'll call Kathy.
It just,
Yeah.
And I contacted a couple of our sheriff's deputies. It was Sunday, I believe it was. Kathy had called and said something about there was some kids up there on some four-wheelers and side-by-sides spinning around and popping wheelies and stuff. And Billy Galarza did respond to that, but he was on a domestic abuse call at that moment. By the time he got there, there was nobody there. But there is some evidence from the tire tracks that something did occur up there. I want to ask our sheriff's office if they can to kind of keep an eye out for those the kids on these four-wheelers.
That's already planned.
Okay.
We understand it's happening mostly on weekends.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna have additional patrols in the area.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. And I don't want to stop anybody from having a little fun, but I don't want them tearing up our stuff, and I don't want any of them getting injured or worse, because I see them fly down Frederick and never slow down from Second Avenue routinely.
I saw a child that I'd be willing to bet my life was not old enough to have a driver's license on a four-wheeler going north on 17 yesterday.
Mhm.
And I thought he should be in school.
Well, I saw one driving right down the highway.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
And I do have one other thing. Yvonne, could you reach back out to DOT and ask them to please come back and fill those potholes between 4th Avenue and 3rd Avenue?
They didn't do a good job.
Well, there's 3 big potholes there, and they filled 2.
2 of the 3.
And one of them is about 3/4 full. So they didn't do the best job, but they totally skipped one of them, and I don't know how they did that. But okay. Anybody else have anything else? One more chance.
What I would, y'all were talking about, when we were talking about the traffic thing, there's another statute, some of y'all wrote it down. There's another statute, is 861.01. It actually makes it a misdemeanor.
861.01.
It's obstructing a highway,
Okay.
so it's a misdemeanor. And the other thing, next meeting, we will bring back to you all, we got comments today, this afternoon, from the sheriff on our proposed revisions to their contract. We didn't have time to review it, get it on the agenda, so it'll be back to y'all at the next meeting. So, but we've made progress.
Good deal. Anything else, Scott?
Good deal.
No, that's it.
Okay. Being no further business?
Wait.
You forgot Mark.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you out, Mark. Yes, sir.
Of course, we're going to shorten the meeting. But on the 16th, I was here meeting with individuals, talking about their land use and zoning questions. I did have somebody who came forward and presented a proposal for a lot in Flanico Estates. As you may be aware, Flanico was platted in the 1920s. It's all these small sliver lots. They get sold on the internet real regularly. Very often, those lots are buildable because they're non-conforming lots of record because they predate the land development code by many, many years. And so technically under the land development code they're buildable, but typically when I tell somebody that it'll be up to them to open the road, and particularly depending on the zoning, they have to go get an environmental assessment. This person happens to be a contractor, and so these are things that he's used to doing. He's interested in purchasing this lot. It is located it's located east of County Road 3, south of County Road 3 and North Road intersection, about 560 feet south of that intersection, due east. So if you were to look at it, it's just woods. But
Yeah.
he wants to open up a platted right-of-way, about 150 feet. What he wants to do is he wants to take half that right-of-way, will install a limestone sub-base, 6 inches thick, with 6 inches of shell above that. Construct that and then build on the lot. So he's already presented he hasn't purchased it yet, so he went out and got a biologist. The biologist, gave a report, a letter. It's, not wetlands, it's uplands.
Now, this is south of
This is south of County Road.
correct, but would it be south of the last mobile home on the south end of that subdivision?
No, this is more towards the north, about maybe a third of the way in. I mean, if you look at it now, it's just trees, right? But it is a right-of-way, so it's actually, you looked it up, it's 3rd Street and 3rd Avenue. addressing, we'll probably actually call it something else. But it's, so it's a right of way right now, but it's paper.
So it's partially between, is south of North Road.
It's about
South North Road,
it's about 500 feet south of
So
North
it's
Road.
between North Road and Hatcham Road on the east side of County Road 3.
And there's actually mobile homes and stuff that are on the road, but his is like a block in, which is why he's got to open a platted road there, 3rd Street, because he doesn't actually touch County Road 3. He's like one block in from County Road 3. But if you look at the map, there are properties along County Road 3 there.
So, like I said, normally when we tell these people, that's the end of it, the end of the conversation. They never come back. And usually they don't close or buy the lots. So sometimes they bought them on the internet after, you talk to us afterwards, and then finally got to, clear the right of way. But that's a proposal, so you guys don't have to do anything other than tell me that that's acceptable. It is, these are lots are owned by many hundreds of people. Most people, like I said, make these inquiries and never seriously come forward with.
So he would do this at his own expenditure?
At his own expense. So, it's totally up to you. You guys could, in the past, you handle this stuff different ways. So there's no consistent precedent.
Wouldn't that be similar to the way that we just handled one there where we're having to move a mobile home out of the middle of a platted road?
It would be similar, but
Sort of similar to that.
Jeremy's not putting down shell or anything. He's just opening it to get to his property, basically.
But he's
I don't have a problem with him putting in a base, he's going to put in base and then.
Half the right of way.
Yeah.
They'll put in a sub-base.
Yeah.
But is he opening up a public right-of-way or just a private road?
It's public.
So it's a public right-of-way.
Yeah.
Public right of way.
So he's going to build it to our standards then?
Well,
Or that's where the question is?
that's the question. There's no really written standard in the land code. If you were to do this in the county, they would tell you, well, you're welcome to do this, pay,
You're going to pay?
Yeah.
Open the entire right of way, pay it. We don't have similar language, so, we obviously can require him to maintain it.
This is going basically just to his lot, which is like
Yeah,
one
it's just
block in.
going.
So, it's like 100
just
feet.
go.
He's going 150 feet in.
Yeah.
6 inches of limestone, 6 inches of shell on top of it. The zoning requires either a site built or modular. To do modular, this is not a mobile home, it would be a modular home.
Vacating the right-of-way is not an option?
There's a whole bunch of people who own,
It's all inside there.
on the internet, or,
I'd say let him do it. It's another water customer.
Without
One at a time.
without
One at a time.
opening
You
that
get it
up,
one
they
at a
can't
time.
build because there's no
Right.
address. So in other words, if you vacated that, there would just be landlocked lots.
Yeah, he's landlocked, yeah.
So he also told us the answer he's waiting on tomorrow is he's got 3 other lots very similar on 6th Avenue. Dead ends at the end of 6th Avenue where the person asked you about the culvert. He bought the next 3 lots on 6th Avenue, so his request there was similar. Can I extend 6th Avenue at my cost and then buy those 3 lots? Because I'm under contract for those 3 lots, and then he wants to build on them
6th Avenue is paid.
to a point.
To a point. So I told him he would have to extend that. Paid.
I have a question about 6th Avenue. It is paved and then it turns into dirt. And if you drive straight ahead, you run into somebody's mobile home
Or a swamp.
at the end of 6th Avenue.
Well, 6th Avenue only goes so far. If you look at a map, I think it dead ends down there somewhere.
I think it dead ends right where that mobile home is, where there was a request to replace a culvert on a private road. Anyhow,
Anyway, so
But we're talking
I told him
about-
that he'd have to extend it.
But I
He's thinking about that one,
Yeah.
obviously.
I'm in agreement with Vice Mayor Greenland. I don't have a problem with him putting in that shell road 150 feet into his lot. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah. At his own expense, yes.
Yeah.
Should we have him agree that, because other people could now build on this Shell Road, right? Adjacent
Well,
to
I
it.
mean, nobody will, he's gonna extend, I mean, we could say extend to the end, the far end of your lot, so somebody else could build on it, extend it further than.
But with that 150 feet off the road, there's,
What he wants to do is basically take it to the point of where he created his driveway,
right.
like halfway through his lot.
But there's other people between where that point is and the public roadway, where the paved roadway is, that people could also build houses and access the same road.
Well, the distinction here, and I don't know if you picture this in your head.
And I can't picture any of it.
He's only clearing half the right of way, right? So the people on the south side of this,
Okay.
we,
So the north side could.
right, the north side could. But there is actually,
But we,
There is no
where this
other-
lot's created, the lot that he's creating, that he's going past, is already developed. It fronts on County Road 3.
Okay.
Right, so he's basically,
What I was just wondering is if we should have him, as part of the development review and approval, agree that if the city decides to do an assessment to pave this road, that he doesn't get any credit for the work he's done up to that point. Because, I'm just wondering if more people attach onto this road, it may be a volume that when he
Maybe one
builds,
day it'd have to be paved.
it would have to be paved, and we come in and say, okay, we're going to now do an assessment on all the properties that are going to be served by this road, and we're going to pave this road. Just to have him come back and not come back and say, hey, wait a minute, but I cleared this, I shouldn't have to pay an assessment. I don't know if that would ever happen.
so I mean, if you have a suggested paragraph like that.
I can shoot it. I'm just trying to
So
think.
I'll have, so when we do the development approval, because normally we just, it's done by myself and Universal, we haven't signed all sorts of documents.
Okay, yeah, I'll think about it and shoot you something. It's just a thought I had sitting here.
Yes, ma'am.
Your name?
You gotta speak your name and your address.
When we clarify the name of that road,
It's Third,
because I would live on Third Avenue, it can't be Third Avenue.
but this is Third Street.
I think it's,
Everything else.
Well,
is avenues.
there is a Third Avenue and Third Street in Flanico. It's been a record many years. We'll end up talking to addressing. I'm sure they're going to, they would do one of two things. It would be like a southeast or, distinguish it from other, or they probably actually want to give it probably a County Road 3 address.
those names that are on those streets were put in there back in the early 1920s at some point in time, Denise, when that thing was subdivided into like umpteen hundreds, many very small lots.
And the way it worked is all the streets that were platted in Flanico Estates that ran east and west were street, and all the ones that ran north and south were avenue. And so at this property, on the original 1925 plat, it's at the intersection of Third Avenue and South Third Street. But most of those roads in Flanico Estates were platted but never actually opened up by the town and named and maintained. So in theory, that's what it would have been, and I don't know if it'll stay that or not, but that's what it was in 1925.
But to answer your question, it would not interfere with your address. It would be, like he said, south Third, if it's remain Third Avenue, but it's,
It'll all have to be coordinated with 911, so obviously they're very interested in the way.
before we close, does anybody else have anything? I do have a couple of announcements to make that I almost overlooked. We have some events coming up. The CCA Community Christian Association Church on their 50th anniversary is on Saturday, October 25th, 2025, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And also it's going to carry over on to Sunday, the 26th, from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. That's going to be at the CCA Church on County Road, on Washington, West Washington Avenue. And there's going to be a Methodist Cemetery cleanup day on Sunday, October the 25th, 2025, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Is that right, Les?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess you're looking for volunteers if you can get any?
What's that?
I guess you're hunting volunteers if you can get any?
Everyone
Okay.
come out.
And I want everybody to be aware of the following meeting schedules and dates. The next regular council meeting is going to be on Tuesday, November the 4th, 2025 at 6:30, and another one on Tuesday, November the 18th, 2025 at 6:30. And there's a planning commission meeting scheduled for Tuesday, October the 28th at 6 p.m. Anybody have anything else?
Yes, I do, Mr. Mayor, real
Yes.
quick. It's been brought to my attention about annexation. Is the only way that anyone can annex into the town of Pierson is they've got to join someone that's already in the Pierson town.
They have to be contiguous, right? If somebody wants to annex in, and they have to be contiguous.
And that's the only way we can do any annexing.
There are other options, and we've looked at them. If you have an agreement with the county, you can annex people within a certain area. They don't have to necessarily be contiguous, but you're going to have an agreement with the county, and they're going to want to know how you plan to, treat certain properties in regards to both their zoning and environmental standards. Typically, so that all gets set forward in an agreement.
So the county's going to have,
We're going to have
the say-so. They're going to have the say-so.
And you also have the ability to do, it's not really involuntary, but you do a vote, a referendum. And so you will have a vote of an area, and it still has to be contiguous to the entire area. And so not everybody has to agree, as long as the majority in that area agree. But then you can also have a vote within your city whether you want to bring them in. So there's the true voluntary process, then there's the referendum process, there's the interlocal service boundary agreement process that Mark just described.
I will tell you that one of the two individuals that I said I was going to talk to, I spoke to the one, and he informed me that several years ago, maybe up to 10, he filled out all the forms to annex in the city with Herbert and gave them to him, and he said the next year he was still in the county, and he just kind of let it, oh well, what happened? He didn't never ask. So, and he's all for, he said, yeah, I'll do whatever, annex.
Okay, thank you.
So my question was, maybe this is my question, Bobby, was there a time that y'all were going to ask people? Because if it happened to this one, was there more that they had went and talked to? Do you know?
I don't recall the council going out and encourage. I mean, of course we encourage it, but I don't think there was ever a drive.
Gotcha.
So to speak.
Yeah, what I've seen
in regards to annex.
The encouragement I've seen local cities do to encourage annexation is to waive fees, maybe provide if you're supposed to have a meets and bounds legal description, if we could help with that. That's the way I've seen people encourage it, to try to make it as least costly as possible to do the annexation.
But other than the continuous part, if someone wanted to annex into the town of Pierson and they're not continuous, they'd have to approach the county or the town?
No.
Who would get the ball rolling on that? The town?
The town has to approach the county and ask for an interlocal service boundary. We identify an area. And then that'll set forward a mechanism by which somebody can annex in.
So you would have a piece of non-contiguous property that could be annexed into the
It is possible
town?
through this service boundary agreement.
Okay.
You know, but typically, like I said, the county is going to require certain things.
Does any of that boundary that you sketch out have to be contiguous to a Pierson?
Well, the boundary does. You know, you can't go, you're not going to have an agreement with the county for some area that's, discontiguous. from you.
So you have to
But it
draw
would
that
be-
boundary in a way that it connects to whatever property.
Yeah,
line
but
it's talking about.
you have a service area that, would make sense, given the current boundary of the town of Pierson. So this annexation this annexation area would have to be coterminous with your boundaries, but you don't necessarily have to proceed in such a way where it's, each one connects back. You know what I'm saying? Anything, if you had a boundary that, went out, say, 2,000 feet from your current boundary, and somebody who was at the far end of that wanted to be the first one to annex in, they could.
Okay, as you all know, there is a lot of state forest that intertwines with our community, Emporia and Seville, Shell Harbor, all of that.
9 Mile.
Yeah, 9 Mile. I mean, there's thousands of acres of state forest that intertwine in Pierson and just outside of our city limits. So why can't that take effect? I mean, I don't understand why, if somebody is annexed into the town that owns up to that state forest, and then you got state forest, why can't that property owner on the other side of that state forest annex? Because you ain't gonna annex that state forest.
Right.
It would be like the people that live at Shell Harbor.
Take a look at this.
Yeah.
But again, if you have a service area agreement with the county,
Right?
you can annex people who are not contiguous.
Okay, well, we've talking about annexing, and that's why I'm bringing this up.
We need
Because
to. That's our tax
I'm telling you,
base.
I keep
I'm
saying
telling
you
you.
have certain conditions, and you've never asked me what those are.
Okay, all right.
So they're gonna want, the zoning to, they're gonna wanna know what your plans are for your comp plan zoning, they're gonna wanna know what you're gonna do for code enforcement, and they're gonna be particularly, interested in understanding what you're gonna do in regards to, things like gopher tortoises and things like that.
And law enforcement.
Law enforcement.
In terms of what your procedures are. What?
Is that indefinite? Is that for a certain period of time? In other words, can I just come back 10 years later and go, hey, you're not living up to this agreement, so?
It's all governed by state law. I'd have to look to see if there's a term on there. And what I can look, I know that, for instance, I think a body of water won't prevent something from being contiguous, on either side of the body of water. I don't know about government, I don't know if I've ever seen that be ignored that's what you're really saying. Can we just ignore this for contiguous purposes?
Right.
Yeah, because the people at Shell Harbor, just as an example,
Yeah.
if they wanted to come into the town, it's state forest between us and them.
Yeah. They're surrounded.
It's
by
on
state
both
forest.
sides of
Of the road?
the road going
Yeah.
in there.
They're totally surrounded by state forest.
And the same way.
All of those people down
Down on Buckley, exactly what I was
all
gonna
those
say.
people there.
Yep. And there's a couple houses right there on Shell Harbor Road that are the same way.
I mean, I know I don't think this would work, but I know that I've done it, like if you annex on one side of the road and another side of the road, and you have a state road in between, you just assume that comes in, and that's state-owned land. And you say, well, when you annex to the center line of the road. I don't know that you could involuntarily annex the state land. I mean, we could always try and see what they say.
Yeah, I just thought I'd go ahead and throw that out tonight, because I think it's something we need to.
It'd be hard to get the state to agree to annex, but it has to have happened before. A state annexed their land in, especially if those property owners petition the state to say that they want to annex to Pierson, but state land is preventing it. Maybe the state would.
Only to be done by special act.
Yeah.
There's got to be somewhere in Florida, a city that has a piece of state-owned land inside the boundary of that city.
Well, they do, but I don't,
I mean, it's not part of the city,
Right.
but it's within the city.
well, it's still within the city limit boundary. It doesn't matter because they're not going to pay taxes.
Oh, that's what, I know that.
So-
That's what we're saying about like the forest.
But
They're
you're
not gonna
trying to
pay
get to
taxes.
something that will.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it would be the same thing. If we had city land down by Lake George, it would be state land between us, it would be like in the middle of the city. Obviously, they're not gonna pay taxes, but
Right.
And also, Bobby, just real quick, I talked to Scott about some of the options to annex, and one option, and Scott, you can correct my verbiage, but like, if there has been an enclave created, in other words, there's a single lot surrounded now by town property, we can go to the county and just annex that, correct? Because it's,
But it has to be bounded on all sides by a single
also, believe it or
city.
not, we have several.
we have several pieces of property in Pierson that's like that.
Yes.
Across the street's one. We've got several on Pine Street.
Oh, yeah.
There's a few on, where did we look at them at the other day? I'm pretty sure there's one on Shaw Lake.
Oh, Shaw Lake Road, there's one on,
That is where we live.
Horn Lake Road.
Yes, there's one
Horn
on-
Lake, yeah, it's all attached to those 7 that's right there.
Take the nudist.
We talked about that.
Take the what?
The nudist colony.
There's a business colony?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Sunny
Sorry.
You're looking like me, I'm wrong?
The only problem is they have their own.
I live in a bubble?
wastewater system, and I don't know how that would work. We have to take over the wastewater system.
I have to take over a lot more than that.
Just bring your towel.
Okay, I just thought I'd bring it up.
Anybody have anything else?
Keep the ball rolling. Trying to keep that ball rolling.
Oh, those are good questions, very good.
Being no further business, this meeting adjourned.